Liverpool are the Premier League champions. Full credit to them, a sensational season from Liverpool Football Club and everybody connected with them. This season from Liverpool, it was amazing. And if you are being snide about it, if you cannot locate the greatness in what Liverpool have done this season, if you cannot acknowledge this Liverpool team's place in the pantheon of great Premier League teams, then I'm afraid I can't help you. Or you have the shortest memory known to man, or you're a goldfish. Because trust me, this Liverpool side have been scintillating at various points this season. And most importantly, they have been great when they had to be great. When results mattered, they didn't blink. When they could hear hooves chasing them down, they constantly found an extra gear. Now, has it gone a little bit soft of late? Yes, it has. But that's because the league is in the bag. They knew that they had already won the league. They knew that the procession was going to happen. So yeah, they switched off, but they burned brightest when they had to. And that, my friend, is the sign of greatness. Anybody that is trying to suggest that it's a sign of weakness, dropping points when the league is already done, you are totally missing the point. Shining when the pressure is on. Statement victories when those around you are also making statement victories. Dropping a couple of points here and there when you've already built up a 12-point cushion. So what? But what a season from Arne Slot. He is simply brilliant, isn't he? To walk into a club of that size, that stature, that magnitude, the pressure on him, following in the footsteps of the irreplaceable, and doing what he has done. The transition from Jurgen Klopp into the Arne Slot era has been seamless. And Arne Slot has now joined an elite crew. This is a proper firm, the Capo di Tutti Capos, and Arne Slot is now welcomed in to the top table. Mourinho, Ancelotti, Pellegrini and Antonio Conte. There are only 4 managers up until today who had won the league at the first attempt, who had landed at a brand new club with all the pressure that comes with that and won the league. Mourinho, Ancelotti, Conte, Pellegrini, Arne Slot. Congratulations, sir. That is some serious company you are keeping. And for some reason, I think this one feels a little bit more impressive. So, for example, when Jose Mourinho won the league for Chelsea, our first league for 50 years, he was following in the footsteps of Claudio Ranieri, a man who was at Chelsea for 4 years, never won a trophy. Ancelotti walked into a Chelsea team who the previous year had a disaster, being managed by Luis Felipe Scolari, one of our worst ever managers. And then we were under caretaker guidance by Gus Hiddink. Yeah, we won the FA Cup, but it all felt a little bit underwhelming and we welcomed Carlo Ancelotti with open arms. Antonio Conte in 2017. The previous year we finished 10th, so again, we weren't feeling the same as Liverpool fans because those Liverpool fans were heartbroken. Jurgen Klopp broke their hearts. It felt like it was impossible to succeed without him. By the way, I'm so sorry to interrupt the video, but I just have to ask you a quick favour. Click subscribe. Really helps me out. I'd love to welcome you into this community. And like I say, really does help me out. Just click that subscriber button very quickly. Thank you so much. Jurgen Klopp had become interwoven into the fabric of this Liverpool era. So for Slot to take over in those circumstances and succeed just like that, it really is so noteworthy because Klopp is one of the hardest acts to follow in football. And on some level, you could argue that the following manager was almost set up to fail. The impossible job. And let's face it, FSG didn't exactly back him in the transfer market. No major signings, no marquee signings, no statement signings. But they didn't even help him out here and there. They didn't reinforce the midfield. That Liverpool midfield has been in need of some serious surgery for a long time. Time and time again, Liverpool have missed out on top targets in the midfield area. Whether that's Moises Caicedo, whether it's Romeo Lavia, whether it's Martin Zubimendi, whether it's Jude Bellingham. Liverpool of late have perennially been linked with new reinforcements in the midfield, and the manager has been constantly let down. That didn't change. He also had to deal with the very minor issue of the 3 best players at the club being out of contract in the same summer. Combine those issues with how good Arsenal looked at the back end of last season. You know, between January and the end of the season, Arsenal were the best team in the country. Combine that with Pep Guardiola chasing his 5th league in a row. I think it's fair to say that the momentum was not with Liverpool and basically nobody saw this coming. I'm sure you did. There's always the professor after the fact, but basically, if we're honest, nobody saw this coming. I most certainly didn't. But neither did some sages of the game. Jamie Carragher, a man who is synonymous with Liverpool, a man who is a Liverpool icon, a man who has only played for one club in his entire career, a man who lifted the European Cup with Liverpool, a man who makes no bones about his bias towards Liverpool Football Club, and the man who is Liverpool's record appearance holder in the Premier League era. He said they finished third. Gary Neville, he was convinced that they'd finish fifth. He even said Manchester United would finish above them. And even if we defer to something without any bias, the Opta supercomputer gave them a 5% chance of winning the league. So I thought Liverpool would finish third. But I'm tribal, I have a bias. Every human who would talk about football on some level would have an innate bias. But the supercomputer gave Liverpool a 5.1% chance. But it didn't matter. None of the noise from outside mattered at all. Liverpool were so driven. They had purpose and they had beliefs. And that stems from Arne Slot. It also helped that they had the best player in the world for the first 5 months of the season. Now, this point is quite funny because I have to labour it because so many people are so desperate to rewrite history around the brilliance of Mohamed Salah. Has it gone a little bit soft lately? Has he gone a touch off the boil lately? Are the standards not quite what they were at the beginning of the season? Perhaps. But please don't let it trick you. Please don't fall for this false narrative. Please remember and use your own mince pies to think and acknowledge and appreciate the brilliance of Mohamed Salah at the beginning of the season. If you boil Liverpool's title charge down to one reason on the pitch, the reason is Mohamed Salah. He was literally the best footballer in the world at the beginning of the season. He was literally the best version of Mohamed Salah that we have ever seen. Think about the player that he was in 2017 when he arrived. Think about the guarantee for goals that we have seen from Mohamed Salah since he arrived. He was better than any of that. You know, that burst of pace, that incredible intensity that he landed on these shores with. This season, he was better than that. He was the best version of himself. He had a twin peak, and the second peak was even higher than the first. Assists galore, vision galore, leadership galore, goals galore. He was the perfect player, and I concede it hasn't gone to plan of late. The last 3 months, slightly underwhelming, but please don't forget, Mohamed Salah was unplayable. Early in this season, he was absolutely brilliant. He was the perfect footballer, and the main reason, the catalyst for Liverpool launching a serious and sustained bid to win the league was simply the brilliance of Salah. In the first half of the season, he had 31 goal involvements. That was a brand new Premier League record. In the first half of the season, he had already matched the number of goals that he got in the 2023-2024 season. And I don't really like talking about stats and records because I find it all a bit tiresome, all a bit dull and all a bit boring. Football is emotion. It's how it makes you feel. Does it get you on the edge of your seat? Do you have a visceral reaction? And to all of the above, the answer with regard to Mohamed Salah is yes. Mohamed Salah has been one of the most exciting players to watch in the Premier League for practically the last decade. He may not have the jaw-dropping ability to astound in the way that Lionel Messi did, but people are so unappreciative of this man. When Mohamed Salah gets the ball, he enthralls the crowd. His pace, electric. His finishing, precise. His vision, clinical. And he has superb technique. The perfect footballer. Dribbling at pace. Is there anyone better? It's comparable to the likes of Arjen Robben or Gareth Bale. And he won Liverpool the league this year. His goals, his vision, his commitment. They won Liverpool the league this year. And now he's staying. Liverpool fans have to be over the moon at this news. Mohamed Salah is going to be a Liverpool player for the foreseeable. And I have a little prediction. Under Arne Slot, under the tutelage and guidance of Arne Slot, there is a bold prediction coming from me. Ian Rush's record. Liverpool's Ian Rush. The icon that is the greatest goal scorer that club has ever had. I think that Mohamed Salah will have that huge tally in his sights. Don't get me wrong, it's a long way away. Mohamed Salah is going to have to score an awful lot of goals, but I am not doubting him. And I'm not doubting Arne Slot. I believe that there is a world where Mohamed Salah will finish his Liverpool career under Arne Slot with more trophies with Ian Rush's goal-scoring record. But it wasn't only him. They had Virgil van Dijk, the best defender in Europe. They had Ryan Gravenberch, who actually achieved the impossible. He made it possible that Liverpool didn't need to sign a midfielder. It was excellent from him, but it was also excellent from Arne Slot, because do you know what Arne Slot did in this moment? He managed the situation. It's so bright, it's so tenacious, it's so clever. He didn't dip into the transfer market. He didn't demand more money. He didn't moan to the press. He looked at his squad. He saw the qualities in Ryan Gravenberch and he decided to redefine him, play him in a slightly different way, redeploy him on the pitch, reimagine his skill set. And that is management, because there was a time last season when Ryan Gravenberch felt like he was on the periphery. In fact, there was a time at Bayern Munich when Ryan Gravenberch felt like he was on the periphery. All of a sudden, under Arne Slot, Ryan Gravenberch becomes one of the best midfielders in the world. That's management, that's football, and fair play to Ryan Gravenberch, having that drive, that wherewithal, that desire to become the best. And fair play to Arne Slot for allowing it to happen, for facilitating this development. The Liverpool fans deserve a mention here as well, you know. They have been totally supportive of Arne Slot ever since Jurgen Klopp implored them to be so. Remember Jurgen Klopp on the pitch singing about Arne Slot last season? Liverpool fans have totally adopted that mantra. They welcomed in his new methods, and they have been so supportive of them and so supportive of him. Unilateral partisan support from everyone in the COP. So much so that I can't even get that Luis Diaz song out of my head. It's driving me mad. So do you know what I think is a really interesting question to try and answer? How? How have Liverpool done it? How has Arne Slot got it so right so quickly? And I think if you look across the season and try and differentiate Liverpool from anyone else in the league, you can see where Liverpool have got it right. And I think it comes down to pretty much one word. That word is resilience. Whenever it looked like it wasn't going Liverpool's way, whenever it felt like the ebb and flow of the Premier League was moving away from them, they somehow captured it. How many times off the top of your head can you think of a situation where Liverpool were losing a game and ultimately they came back? They were losing to Arsenal. What happens? They come back. They were losing to Brighton. What happens? They come back. They were losing to Southampton. What happens? Mohamed Salah forces them to come back. It was that resilience. Even maybe the game against Brentford, which felt like a significant moment in the season. It actually felt like the moment that they won the league. They were struggling. It wasn't going their way. Suddenly, bang. Last few moments of the game, Darwin Núñez arrives. And something weird did happen as well. Every time it went a little bit wrong for Liverpool, people would try and suggest that it had gone really wrong. People were trying to say, the title race has been blown wide open. You're like, hang on a minute. They went away to Newcastle, for example, and they ended up getting a very credible 3-3 draw off the back of what was a really tough week. In the same week, they played away at St James's Park, they played against Real Madrid, and they were anticipating playing at Goodison Park. If you go to Eddie Howe's Newcastle, a Newcastle team in fine form, one of the better teams in the Premier League, if you go to St James's Park and you end up getting a 3-3 draw in a difficult part of the season, under the lights, on a cold Wednesday night, I don't see that as a bad point. I would go so far as saying a point at St James's Park in those circumstances is a good point. So even when it was going wrong for Liverpool, even when it felt like things weren't necessarily going their way, they weren't getting beat. They were finding a way. They were digging deep. They were being resilient. And a point at St James's Park, great point come the end of the season. Tarkowski against Everton felt like another one. Tarkowski scores, brilliant moment for Goodison Park, brilliant moment for Everton, historic moment for the Merseyside clubs. And everyone went, that could be it. That could be the catalyst. The fuse is lit for a title race this season. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. A point for Liverpool in those circumstances, with the cushion that they had already secured over Arsenal, was a good point. So, to answer this question, why did Liverpool win the league? The answers are resilience, Salah, and Slot. Remember when it felt like it was going to be Xavi Alonso in the summer of last year? Alonso had obviously done a wonderful thing in the Bundesliga. And at that moment, when he had taken Bayern Leverkusen to the brink of the title, it felt like it was going to go his way. But he said he was going to stay in Germany. That moment is the sliding doors moment because everyone thought it was going to be Alonso. Alonso said no, he's going to stay in Germany. That is what opened the door for Arne Slot. And from that moment on, Liverpool basically never looked back. Slot has got it so right, borrowing from the brilliance of Jurgen Klopp, allowing Jurgen Klopp's methodology to have an impact on the way that he applies his vision, but also giving his own stellar advice, borrowing from the brilliance of Klopp and putting his own spin on it. So it's heavy metal football from Klopp, but with this Dutch control. It's not so much heavy metal. I said this on a video around about the time. It was a version of heavy metal, but calmer, more R&B, more Brandy and Monica than Metallica. So you combine this excellent leadership, this incredible managerial acumen with the best defender in the world, and then you marry that up with I mean, the best footballer in the world at one point this season. 27 Premier League goals, 18 assists in 33 games, 45 goal contributions in 33 games. And somehow people will tell you that he hasn't really had a great season. Yeah, he played all right at the beginning of the season, but it has gone a little bit off colour lately, hasn't it? No, mate, the geezer's a phenomenon. The geezer is a marvel. We should honestly appreciate Mohamed Salah. You and I, we live in the dream here because we are lucky enough to witness true greatness in its full glory. So there we have it. Liverpool are champions. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm over the moon for two reasons. One reason, it means Arsenal didn't win it, which is basically my priority these days. The second reason is I'm glad it happened today because I really didn't want it to happen at Stamford Bridge. People will have this debate, and I really do want your thoughts on it. Can you tell me what you think is worse? Because I believe that giving a guard of honour is quite minor. What I don't want to happen is I don't want Liverpool to win the league against us. You can always remember who you've won the league against. It will stay with you forever. We went to the Reebok. We beat Bolton Wanderers. We witnessed Frank Lampard take the ball round Jussi Jääskeläinen. We won it that day. That's what you don't want Liverpool to have at Stamford Bridge. You know, you constantly hear Arsenal fans singing about the glorious ways that they've won the league over the years. Won the league at Tottenham more than Tottenham. Won the league at Old Trafford. Won the league in Manchester, as they sing. They obviously won the league at Anfield. That's what people remember. People don't remember the Guard of Honour, do they? So I'm glad it happened because Liverpool fans, in a decade's time, will remember the game against Tottenham at home. The Guard of Honour, insignificant. Or do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that giving the Guard of Honour is worse somehow? I don't see it. I'm just glad it didn't happen against us. So thanks, Tottenham. Appreciate it. And, I mean, Liverpool, I think they've been immense. Where they rank in the pantheon of great Premier League teams in history, I think that's a really interesting debate. But there is no doubt that they are up there and they are worthy of serious consideration. Thank you to everybody for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like. Please click subscribe. It would be an honour to welcome you into this community. And I wish you a good day.